Hi, welcome to the 30th Sunday, Praying with God. We have the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector today. It's a special parable only in Luke, and it's Luke's way of sharing with us the great mercy of God, because God shows a warm welcome and acceptance of the tax collector who turns in prayer. I'm just going to give you a little rundown about the tax collector and the Pharisee, two interesting characters. So the Pharisee was a layman who was not a priest, was not a Levite, and he was frustrated with the Roman authorities, the soldiers, the occupation of his land. He was frustrated with fellow Jewish people who weren't living the Torah and the laws, and he was upset with the religious authorities that were allowing all this to happen. So Pharisees, they decided they would live the law perfectly. It was called intensification of the Torah. And they believed if you lived the Torah and all the laws perfectly, the Messiah will come. So they thought that they were the good guys. And that's why they're standing there, I pay all my tithes, I fast, I'm perfect, I'm pious. And then we have the contrasting character, the tax collector. And tax collectors were Jewish people who contracted their tax collection services to the Roman authorities. They contracted at a set price, and then they began collecting the taxes on fish, on produce, and things that were traveling into the town. And they started overcharging and making a lot more money than what they had contract payment to the Roman authorities. And Jewish people hated them. They were unclean, and also they were collecting taxes and paying for the colonial occupying power and all the soldiers to stay in the Holy Land. They were hated. They were despised. And in religious law, the only way that they could change and be acceptable back to their community and get back into the temple and be one with God was they had to remember everyone they had overcharged, pay that overcharged amount, and then they had to pay 1/5 more. So every $100 overcharged, they'd have to add another $20. And it's quite impossible for them because they didn't keep Excel spreadsheets or a business program to keep track of all these records. So the loneliness of the tax collector trying to find their way back to acceptance in the community and into the temple. It's striking that the tax collector was actually in the temple. So here's the background to the Pharisee and the tax collector. You're invited now to pray with this parable and see where it leads you. And you're invited to download and reflect on the reflection questions. Legalism is not righteousness. And the loneliness of the tax collector. All the best as you download, pray, reflect, and grow with the Sunday readings this week.